guys, it's me, Robin, and yes, I'm still playing with my Imagine machine, and I've had a lot of emails with a lot of questions, and the actually official launch of the Cricut Imagine will be on HSN on September 14th, and that's midnight Mountain Standard Time, so it's really like Monday night if you live on the, actually, it's midnight Eastern Standard Time, so if you live on the West Coast, or I live in Central Standard Time, it's actually 11 o'clock my time. So you can see Ginger, and she'll actually answer a lot of these questions. I'm going to do a project using a regular Cricut cartridge, Dinosaur Tracks, and I'm using the Imagine More Cricut cartridge. Now, a lot of your questions will be answered in the next 2 weeks. I know there's so many questions, so just maybe write your questions down, and then when the HSN launch goes on, there's a lot of us that are going to be doing and answering questions for you guys during the launch. And you can, if they're not answered for you yet, then you can ask us, and I'm sure somebody will know, or we can contact ProvoCraft and we'll find out for you. But I'm loving it. I am having a great time with my Imagine, and really, I did a scrapbook page that I posted on my website, mypinkstamper.com. I did it yesterday, or no, I did it over the weekend when I got back. And it did not take me long at all. I know some people were thinking, oh, or said, that might have taken you longer. It really didn't take me very long. So I'm really looking forward to the future Imagine cartridges. I want to have a gazillion of them because it was so nice being able to just change my alphabet, just changing the pattern on it and not having to put little scraps of pattern on my page and just using a piece of white cardstock. And so that is a bonus to it. Let's see. It's not much wider than my Cricut Expression. It is, of course, heavier, and it is deeper, if that makes any sense. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just a project for you today using, like I said, the Dinosaur track. So I'm going to get that set up, and we'll get started. Okay, I've turned on my machine, and like I said, I have my Dinosaur tracks in here, and I have my Cricut Imagine. I don't have my mat in yet. Another question that people have been asking me, yes, you insert your mat where it says insert here. While it's it'll print on the top, and then this will actually, it'll go underneath and come out, and it will cut underneath that, if that makes any sense. It's really actually cool. Now, the question was, if you're just cutting on colored paper, does it still need to be up on top? Yes, I believe you always still need to insert your mat on top, because we can actually just cut an image without printing it, and you can print without cutting it, and it still all needs to be inserted right here. So we can just put our mat here for now. That's fine. Let's move this up, and let me show you how to cut a card. I mean, we're not going to do a card. Let's do a scrapbook page. Now remember, I'm going to zoom this in, but we have the Cricut Dinosaur tracks and the Imagine More on the other side. Now I have my little stylus here, and I have my, down here on the bottom, you have your choice of the Cricut cartridge. You can click the middle, and this gives you kind of the stock photos. That's what I'm going to call them, stock images that are on the Imagine when you don't have anything else in there, and there's scallops and ovals, and there's like a die that's similar to the top-notch die that Stampin' Up! Sells. These just automatically come with the Cricut, and then you have your Imagine. You click right here. You click right here. It's not doing it. I'm going to pull it out and pull it back in. And there's probably all these rules that I'm supposed to be following. I don't know. I'm just working with what I have here. Okay, so you see the Imagine More. Looking at my stock photos. Okay, these are the Imagine More ones over here. Now, let me put it back on the Cricut cartridge. I'm going to be working with this dinosaur right here. So I'm going to click on, it's on page 40 in your Dinosaur tracks. It's just the dinosaur right here. I am going to press the button there, and then I'm going to hit Shift, and I know that I need the Shift image right here. And then I'm going to unshift it, hit my Layer 1 button, and press that again. That's the only thing I need to cut from those. Okay, now what's really cool is while this is on your screen here, this is where you will change your size. You can just edit it here, or you can actually, if you've forgotten, you can do it on the screen. Do the little pencil mark there. And we're going to make this dinosaur, we're going to make it about 2 inches, so it's 2 inches already for me. Actually, 2.5 would be good. Let's make it 2.5 inches and hit apply. Actually, we're not going to apply it yet. We're going to make this a color. So let's look down here. We can pick any of these colors from your, even if you have your own RGB code. I know Basil, there's an application on iPhone that I've downloaded. It's $10 and they'll give you all the RGB codes for the Basil cardstock. Stampin' Up! Online, you can find the RGB codes for Stampin' Up! Product. And here's the patterns and the colors that came with this Imagine. This is the color palette that they're using right here. So I'm going to stick with the color palette because I'm going to be using their patterned patterns on this. So I'm going to use this like brown green color, dark brown, for that. And now I'm going to press apply, and it's going to set the size 2.5 inches, and it's brown. Now let's do the top layer right here. The top layer, let me make sure I have the right one. Press our little pencil mark, and we're going to put it up to 2.5 inches. And then for the top, I think I want this part to be, I'm going to do mustard, like a mustard color. Let's see here. I'm going to do this one right here, this mustardy. Okay, I'm going to hit apply. See, look at how easy this is. And right here, I'm going to do my top one, and I'm going to do a pattern. And I think I will do just the plaid green. I can check it out and see if I like that. Yeah, I think I like that plaid green color. Yeah, that'll work. I'm going to change it to 2.5 inches. And I'm going to hit apply. Now, I forgot, I do want to write the word roar. So go into your letters, and I'm going to type in R-O-A. Where'd that R go? R-O-A-R, right? Roar. And I want that to be 2 inches. And I want my, let me make sure I have this right. I'm going to have my roar at 2 inches. And I want it to be, I think I'm going to do green. Let's see here. I'm going to do this green right here. It's in the same palette. Isn't that neat? So I don't have to go looking through my cardstock, looking through my pattern paper to find something that matches. This all coordinates with each other. Okay, now that I have my dinosaur and I have my roar, I'm also going to be using a different, I want to do maybe a border or something. So let's go into the Imagine cartridges, because I'm going to make this just a simple scrapbook page. If you scroll through here, I want to find another border like I did on my daughter's scrapbook page. And the great thing about it is I can just pull out an element of the border. I don't need to use the whole entire border, which is great. So you can have these. This is what I used for hers. But if for these borders, let me look at them closely. And if you want to look at in the handbook that they give you with the cartridge, it does have a more in-depth look. Okay, here is the awesome handbook that comes with it, and you can use corners, frames, whatever you want. I'm probably going to print out a couple of these frames that I'm going to use for the boys' pictures, whatever boys I put in there. So I'm going to use this frame. So I'll go ahead and press on the bird frame. Let me find the bird frame here, and I think it was before that. So the bird frame, the great thing, like I just said, I really love, I'm going to click on that one and press edit. And now I can do keep it together, combined, or I'm going to do layers on that one. And I am going to, I can do whatever kind of pattern I want. I'm going to keep this the same pattern though. I'm going to use that one. I'm going to hit apply. Now watch, these will all be across my screen on the top. And the great thing is I can hit backspace the images that I don't want. So I didn't want the bird. I don't want this right here, so backspace. And let me keep going over here again. It keeps coming back. Okay. Push it back here. Now I don't want that. I don't want this frame, so backspace. And I think I'm going to keep the other 2 frames because I think I'll use them. So let's see what size we have these frames. I want them to be about probably 4 inches, and they're going to be cut on a second page. The great thing about it, it'll kind of tell you, you can still do your whole entire project on here, and it'll just tell you probably to load another page. We're going to find that out. Let's do 4 inches for that one. And then for our second one, right here, if I can find it, yes. We're going to do 3.5 for this one. We'll make it a little bit smaller. So do 3.5. Apply it. Okay, Now I did want some corners on there. Did you see that I said I want corners? So let's find some corners. These would be fun corners. Let's do these corners here. So I am going to, and there might be an easier way to do some of these things. Again, I'm just learning. So as I go, I like to teach what I learn. Okay, I'm going to hit apply. You know what? I think I'm going to change these corners. I want them to be kind of one of the patterns that I'm using. So let's make these corners, let's make them this one right here. Over here. Okay, do you see how those? And I'm going to hit apply. And I'm going to go back and just delete the ones that I don't want again. You guys saw that earlier. I can just keep going backspace, backspace. I don't want that. Okay, so that's good. I have 2 frames. And we're going to get ready to cut this. Let me see how big my... And I want that to be, the frames are going to be, the corners are going to be about 4.5. Let's do 5. Okay. Let's see how much room this is going to take up on our page. Let's press next. I'm not going to do the border just yet. Okay, so it says 2 of 2 down here. And you can go to the page 1. You see what will show up? Roar and your dinosaurs are going to show up on page 1. And then if you'll go to page 2, it's my frames and my corners, which is great. And so if you also, let's say that you just have one piece of white cardstock you want to use, you can hit fit to page. I don't want to do it now because I don't want to have to resize everything back. Hit fit to page and everything will fit on your 12 by 12. It'll just make everything smaller and it'll also keep your layers proportionate, which is great. Okay, so it's kind of like having a gypsy, but not really. You have the screen and you have the capability. So let's go ahead and cut this part and see what will happen. Okay, now remember, I have my mat already in my machine. So I'm going to follow the directions. And so all I do is, you could press next if you want. There's a couple ways you could do this. Press next, or I can just push the little play button right here. And also on the second part it says go, print and cut. You can either press that or you can press your play button again. And it says apply light pressure. So apply light pressure to your mat while you're loading it. Let me zoom out a little bit. Okay. Applied light pressure and then it sucked it in for me. Now it's thinking and it's going to print it and then it's going to cut it. My machine is still printing. And I want to show you really quickly what happens down here when it spits it out to cut. So as soon as it went over the mat, when it comes out, it's going to get ready to cut. So here it should be coming in a second. It says it's still printing, but I think it's done with printing. It says printing right here, but now it says cutting. And did you see my blade just moved over here? And do you hear that? Listen. Listen, watch. It's actually figuring out with these black lines where everything is. So when it actually cuts it, it'll know where it cut. So watch this. This is actually pretty cool. And I'm just going to speed this process up a little bit. It knows where everything is. And now, again, like I told you, you can print this out by itself. If you wanted to just have some fun little images or even just a title on your page, you can just print it out without cutting. You can cut it without the color on here, without printing. But we're doing both on here. I'm actually, instead of using colored cardstock, I'm using the ink on here. And I still have plenty of ink, and I've used, so far total, probably about 7 or 8 sheets, maybe more, of cardstock, maybe 10 sheets, just messing around with it. And the ink looks really good still. Some more cutting on here, because it looks really cool. Do you see how it's cutting underneath the line though? Do you guys see that? So this machine's very smart. It knows what it's doing. Okay, now it's done with the first page, and so up here it says apply light pressure to the mat and press go. Wait, you can't see that. Up here it says apply light pressure to the mat and press go. So what I need to do, since I only have one mat, is I need to empty this up, empty this off, and then I'll add another piece of white cardstock and follow the direction. Okay, now I'm going to put in my second sheet of paper and see what happens here. And I think it'll just start printing and cutting my second page, which is awesome. So you can have, what I would recommend is, your Cricut Imagine comes with the one mat. I would recommend getting a bunch, getting another pack, and so you can have one ready to go. I'm going to talk with my hands here. One ready to go with a white piece of cardstock that you can instantly put in as you're doing it. So anyway, here we go. Okay, it just finished cutting my second page here. And I've got some frames, and look, it does cut out the white space. Somebody was asking about that over on one of the message boards. Now this one does have the space because that's how it's meant to be on the layer. And so let's put this together and make a quick scrapbook page. I'm going to start by putting together this dinosaur. Now I have the 3 layers. Look at how nice those turned out. I made it myself. Now you truly make it yourself when you make your own papers. Oops. Uh-oh. What in the world? Oh. I'm confused. Okay, that's not working. Okay, I'm going to use my big ATG gun for this, or you can use a smaller tape. And I'm going to use my Zig 2A glue pen. Get this on here. Speed this process up. Okay, now we have our dinosaur that I made using the Imagine, and now I'm going to make a quick and simple scrapbook page. Now I'm using my own 12 by 12. I did not print this out, of course. Alright, I'm working with a 5.5 by 12 inch strip of cardstock, and I'm just going to put this, kind of throw some more color on here. Now this is also coordinating colors. This is from the same palette that I've used on the Imagine More cartridge. And now I'm going to kind of lay everything how I want it. Okay, here's the roar, R, O, A, R. And I'm going to kind of lay everything down first. And then I have my dinosaur. I'm going to have the dinosaur down here at the bottom. The dinosaur's right here. And then I'm going to add the corners. Okay, I have the dinosaur down here. And then I have these corners. I'm going to go ahead and attach these corners. I'm just using a mono adhesive. I've got it to work. I think I got it to work. So I'm just going to pull it down. It was just stuck. Is it even coming out? Yeah, I think so. Let me see. Yes. Okay, and I'm going to put this. It's going to be a really long video, so I need to speed some of this up. Now I'm not actually putting the corners on the corner. I'm just kind of having them be about with a little bit of a border, maybe 1/8 of a border, 1/8 inch. Okay. And now I have this here, the dinosaur down at the bottom, and here are my 2 frames. So you can have a lot of fun with this. We're gonna have one frame like that, one frame here, and you can, you know, add lots of fun pictures in here, a couple pictures. You can have journaling, a journaling block down here. And then what I am going to do, I'll take a picture of this when I'm finished. I'm not going to do this on video. I'm going to take this twine, and I'm going to have it in my title here. So anyway, I made this all with the Imagine and using the Dinosaur Tracks cartridge. I hope you enjoy it. Have a fabulous day.